Good morning, how we doing? What's up, guys? You know I had to speed up that countdown because we are 22 seconds out from a potential setup here for me. This bar, is it outsized? Someone may make that argument. ATR is 58. You know I want to be a part of this thing if I can get a reasonable close and a fill. Couple of things I need to occur. All right, I'll place that directly on the rollover. Beautiful placement. If the Bears, the Bulls want to give it up. If the Bears want to take that guy down, I do want to be a part of it. Looks like the Bulls are going to step in immediately off the open of bar 32. So I'm going to give that guy, I'll give it the full 30. Just because I like this volatility we're getting here. This little influx since bar 25, really 29. Gonna have to pull it. All right, no fill, no trade. That's all right. What's up? How we doing? Good morning. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever you're at, come on in. We've got work to do, big dogs. All right, 410 out, bar 32. Let's see what we get here. Matrix, how we doing, man? Well, Ascend, Stacks, big man. OM, how are we? How we doing? All right, bar 32 here. I like bar 32. You know, I don't mind 32. We'll see. So what I'm looking for here on 32, if we could get a nice clean bear close beneath the wick low of 31, it's over. I'm getting short. Now, by the way, from, here, I should probably draw it for you. From the low of day, which is the wick low of bar 8. See that down there? There's going to be some people that kind of look at it and they're like, context. We're big soft bull channel, right? That's a very deep pullback as part of what would be a very, very wide soft bull channel. And would I be comfortable buying the close of 31? You guys know in soft bull channels, for example, I'm looking to get long on small to moderate bear bodies in the lower third of that soft bull channel. And if you're looking at this, you're confused. You're like, isn't that a soft bull channel? Does that look like a small to moderate bull body in a traditional, in the many examples I've pointed out? Not only here on stream, but especially, in the tomb, in the 50, 60 plus hours of content in there. No, not at all. That's way too deep. This is way too aggressive of a bear move to still call this a soft bull channel. If anything, we have a huge sideways range on the day, don't we? And then we have this bear move from 25. So I'm watching 32. We're about 2 minutes out. Again, I want to see, they actually did it. They took out the wick low of 31. So I want to see a nice clean bear close beneath the wick low of 31. And then I would like to put a stop limit sell to work. One sec. I'm all 32. 70 seconds out. Bulls stepping in, trying to pop this guy. Matrix says, got long from bar 17 to bar 19. Not too bad. Hope you guys are all having a good morning here so far. But we got to keep it pushing. Okay, nothing on bar 32, so watching 33, you know, 32, basically an identical, slightly larger version of bar 30. So 33, you know, it's not out of the question yet. We'll see what happens here on 33. Good, Bears. Now, you know, when I look at this, I don't want to see this kind of thing. It's way too early to even draw that. But I don't want to see this turn into a sideways range at all. So if we were going to get a reasonable close out of bar 33 here, I'd really want to see it get a little bit deeper than just below the wick low of 32, if that makes sense. We got 3 minutes to make that happen. So, all right, I'll tell you what, in the chat, since we're right about the middle, like we're kind of right in the middle of the full day's range, right? I want your guys' opinion. Are we heading higher or lower for the next move here? That's NQ, Nasdaq futures, or you could argue the market as a whole. Higher or lower from here? I would much prefer lower, personally. It would give me a lot more setups a lot more quickly. Lower, lower, sideways, higher. That split down the middle. All right, we got 30 seconds left here on bar 33. This market seemingly can't decide either. Chat split dead nuts down the middle. Market giving us doji bars here on 30. Well, small bull body, almost a doji on 32. Similar body, basically a doji, tiny little bear body here on 33. Rolling over 34. Do it to him. Clean this up, please. ASAP. All right, I gotta see these bears take this guy lower here on bar 34. 3 minutes. Mike, Randall, how are we? Edge, Javaz? My guys, how we doing? Oh, 1 sec. All right. These damn bears won't get us down through this. This is garbage. ATR is still 53.54. All right, we got 60 seconds here left on 34. So you look back here, we had 29, 30, 31. Now this little sideways range. And no sizable bear bodies. I'm sorry, bull bodies within this little range. So I'll tell you what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to get short on here. Treat this more like not a full-blown intraday swing, but just more of a swing trade in general. Place my stop above 31. And leave that guy on for as long as it takes. 91.50, 92.50, that's fine. And basically bet against the retracement of 31. That's fine. Which, by the way, also happens to be the entry in the upper third of that 15-minute sideways range. So I'm also betting against the breakout of the range. Randall, my man, doing well, brother. By the way, ATR is 51. Risk here on this guy less than a full ATR, which is tremendous. Oh, you bears. There you go. Fade this thing, bears. Come on now. Come on. You imagine we get news right now? Goes, takes out my limit order on the bottom for 190 points. Oh man, this little range. All right, so ATR is 50. Well, now it's 47 on that rollover. The rollover of 35 into 36. So ATR coming down here, obviously, as a result of this sideways range here from 32 on to, well, currently the attempted breakout of bar 36. See if the bulls can put anything together here. There we go. Let's get these bears stepping in. Fade this thing about 400 points. Right through the limit take profit. Give me about 210 points of slippage additionally. And I think I could be content with that. Sounds reasonable. Yeah, I agree. I do think it sounds relatively reasonable here. Oh, these bulls! Trying to fade us back. My risk is managed above the wick high of 31. Now again, this 20 EMA here, sure, it's there. I don't mind that it's there. But as far as relevance, bottom of the barrel here for me. Bruce, how are we? Good to see you. Randall, yes, sir. That's the size on the number next to the open P&L. Now, these bulls, they're going to have to earn my stop market order. And I'll tell you what, it ain't over till it's over. We've learned that a whole bunch of times, haven't we? That goes for being in the money as well. All right, we got 38 seconds left here on bar 36. This right here, by the way, would be the first bar to close outside that 32 to 35 sideways trading range. Lasted about 20 minutes. And this is a 5-minute chart here on NQ, Nasdaq futures. New bar. Bar 37 here rolling over. ATR updating to 45. Well, the Bulls don't want it too bad, I guess. Gonna have to earn it here, Bulls. Gonna have to take out that wick on bar 31. All right, ATR sitting 48. Yeah, you know, we shall see if we do get Miracle on Wall Street Part, what, about 27? Bulls trying to step back in. There's the roll over to 38. What do you think, we get clipped? You want it, bulls? You're gonna have to earn it, man. It's been a tough battle here thus far. They gotta take out that wick high of 31. They got us. All right. I am flat. Let's keep her pushing. Watching bar 38 here. ATR is 45. We got about 4 minutes, 20 seconds out till the close of bar 38. Probably going to hesitate a little bit. Let's see if these bulls can get us up through the low, into the low 29.8s is what it would need to be for me. What time frame is your chart? I trade, right now I'm trading a 5 minute. All right, we got 250 out. Bunch of nothing going on here on 37.38. All right, we're about 80 points off the low, the wick low bar 34, which of course is not the low of day. The low of day is the wick low bar 10 currently. There we go. Bull 70 seconds out until big 38 here closes up. High of day is the wick high of bar 25. So I'm watching 38 here. Well, I gotta tell you, this. I'd like to see a little bit more confidence here out of the bulls. Let's go! Ow, you bulls, you bunch of fucking babies. We got the wick high of 37. Bulls are hanging out beneath there, 12 seconds. Ugly. Ugliest close of the entire day. All right, 39. There you go. All right, bar 39 looking better and better here. 350 out. Coming into 29.8 here on NQ. Let's see if those bulls, there you go, can get a nice clean push here and close up without too much wick. There you go. Bulls, about time somebody showed up. All right, 3 minutes. Okay, high of day is the wick high of 25, well, at least New York session, of course. Got news bar back here, peaked a little bit higher. And that's about 80 points out, 75 points out from where we currently sit. We are a minute 40 out from the close up here of 39. If it could stay just about put, that would be tremendous. ATR 46. All right, 30 seconds, baby. Come on, Bulls! 7 seconds, stop limit buy goes out. Oh, you bunch of babies. All right, you know what? I'm going to hit it with a limit order and see if I can get a fill. You guys are really going to split the difference on me. There it is, 20 seconds. No fill, no trade either way. Whether I use my limit order or stop limit buy, no fill, no trade. All right, watching 40. Ideally 40, you'll take a nice clean close above the wick high of 39 without getting too large. I don't want to see it get a little bit too close. I mean, we're still, what, 70 points away, 75-ish points away from the high of day. That's the wick high of 25. I don't want to see that guy get too large and eat up too much potential. Not that I'm going for a stop hunt, but I want some room there. Question, why do you limit the window after a bar close in order to get an entry, and if it doesn't hit within that window, you pull the order? So this is a 5-minute chart, by the way, that you're looking at. 5-minute chart on NQ. Doesn't matter what instrument it is, really doesn't matter what time frame. But if I get a close that I know I need to take, whether it's a buy, meaning a long setup, or a sell, meaning a short setup, I typically, depending on the grade that I classify the setup as, between B- and A+, I'm going to give it somewhere between 15 and 30 seconds to give me a fill. Typically, that's going to be, for continuation trades, on what's called a stop limit order. Whether it's a stop limit buy or a stop limit sell, those are entry orders. A lot of people get this wrong. Those are not risk management orders. For risk management, you use stop market orders. Okay, but for my entries, if it doesn't fill me, meaning typically take out the wick high with a stop limit buy or the wick low of my signal bar with a stop limit sell within the first 15 to 30 seconds, depending if it's a B- or up through A+ with everywhere in between, then the momentum, it's a continuation setup, right? The setup has changed. It's no longer the setup that I wanted it to be or needed it to be in order to get an entry. So when there's that kind of hesitation, when there's that much hesitation, I pull the order. It's a no fill, no trade, and I move on. Because if I let that order sit for, 4 minutes and then it just kind of creeps up and takes it, is that the same trade that you guys have seen me take a million times, where I put out a stop limit sell, it takes it out and it dumps 40 points in 25 seconds? It's not the same trade. At least not typically. Question on personal account wins and losses at the end of the year for a 1099. They say, I heard a nightmare story where a guy got destroyed on taxes because of losses. Was it because of wash sales? Just talk to your accountant. Call your accountant, spend 4 minutes on the phone with him if he has any idea what he's talking about, or she. They'll explain it to you and say, why are you calling me? Get back to work. Just make sure you're set up properly. If you're not already, it's really not that big of a deal. Just call your accountant. I'm not that, man. But what I will say, as a non-accountant guy who lets real accountants do everything because they actually know what they're doing, and I don't, if wash sales completely made day trading as a profession, whatever the instrument may be, most of the time people are referring to stocks when they talk about wash sales. If it completely wiped anything out, any of the potential as a profession, then this would be far less talked about. It sounds really... Every trader eventually learns about wash sales and their life flashes before their eyes and they're like, holy shit, why didn't anyone tell me about this? My entire career is fucked up now. Just call your accountant, you'll be fine. And if you don't have one, man, get one. People try to do their taxes themselves. I think it's ridiculous. Yeah, great. You saved, $1,000. You saved $300. And then, you get a phone call 4 months down the line that your shit's all fucked up. And now you got to spend a month fixing it all with the IRS. Just hire someone who knows what they're doing, who you trust. But don't let them make the payments. Little piece of personal advice. Do not let your accountant do not just send your money to your accountant. Make the fucking payments yourself. It's not that big of a deal. Let them do the back end work. And track all your expenses yourself. So you track the expenses yourself, you make the payments yourself, you let them put all the paperwork together. My opinion only, but best way to do it, I think. All right, bar 41. Minute 35 out. All right, you know the drill. I'm getting a refill. I'm going to look away. If somebody makes a phone call, that's your problem, big dog. All right? But we could use one right now. 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Oh, baby. Oh, baby, we're back! And bar 42 is pissing me off, going sideways. I see nobody made a phone call. Appreciate that, guys. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm watching 42 and then most likely also 43. I gotta tell you, I'm really not a fan of how 40, 41, and now 42 are behaving. There you go. 43, finally trying to make this move higher. I like 43 so far. ATR sitting about 39. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, Bulls. Let's hold that up. I'm watching that wick high of bar 40. Now, ideally, if we could also get above that wick high of 29, that would be nice. Testing it right now. All right, we got a minute 22 until bar 43 closes up here. I like bar 43. Now the range on 43 is small compared to the ATR. ATR is still 39. Range here we're sitting at what, about 25? Actually, maybe lower here, low 20s. Barely 20, man. Well, here's the rollover. 3 seconds. 43 rolling over into 45. I'm sorry, 44. Well, I suppose let's take a look at a 2 minute and see what's going on. Question, the index futures always have huge bars in the first 6 to 12 5-minute bars of the New York session open. Do you regularly trade those bars? Yeah, 100%. So what I always say here, if we look at those, well, the full day here, bar number 1, right? That's the first bar of the New York session open. For me, typically, the absolute earliest, again, this is a 5-minute NQ chart. The absolute earliest that I'm typically going to take a trade on the day is after 2 the close of bar 2 if they're really clean. More than likely, it would be the close of bar 3 if they're still really, really clean. Like, bar 1 and 2, if I'm going to take a trade on the close of 2, they've got to be really nice. 1, 2, and 3 have got to be pretty damn good for me to be interested after the close of 3. After that, it's completely, I'm just trading ramp. I'm sticking to the methodology, assessing context, doing logical things, that's it. I definitely wouldn't hold out for the first, 12 bars of the day. A lot of opportunity is in those first 12 bars. But bar 1, just off the rip, the fresh open of the New York session, a lot of volatility, and you get that influx. There's not really a lot to go off of because the previous bars are pre-market. So that's how I approach it. And we've got bar 44 here, so I'm paying attention to that. Sure, I don't mind that. Place him on the rollover, see if the Bulls want it. If the Bulls do want it, I would like to participate, my man. No fill, no trade, gotta pull it, Jesus. Man, it's starting to get a little bit slow. ATR 35. Question, do you mark out previous areas of supply and demand on the 5-minute or higher time frame in order to trade those first few candles of the day? What do you mean? Is that literally what you mean? Do I mark out supply and demand and then just trade the first candle of the day based on that? No, I trade price action. So I'm waiting until at least the close of bar 2, if not the close of bar 3 or later. Because the influx of volume happens on bar 1 of the day, the New York session and the New York session open. Before that, volume is a lot lower. And is it about the volume to me? No, it's about the sample size. It's about the sample size of opinion. Okay, that creates the price action. When the sample size is wildly different on bar 1 and 2 compared to the 5 or 6 or 10 bars previous to that in pre-market, I can't consider them too much. And also, as far as like yesterday's zones of supply and demand, unless we're dealing with an S tier level that's just always going to be relevant, like 30,000 on the dot, I just don't care, dude. Today's a different day. We've had news overnight. Traders have made different opinions overnight. Institutions have adjusted algorithms overnight. I just don't care about yesterday as far as areas of supply and demand. No, those of you guys who are a little bit newer, again, I don't say this to I only say this to make you think a little bit about the methodology, the path that you're going down. Again, I don't care what you trade. Trade RAM, trade something else. I don't care as long as you fucking make a lot of money and provide for your family and, succeed at this. That's all I care about. Okay, but think to yourself for a second. If you are a little bit newer, you haven't really seen the cycles of this play out. If you've been around for 5 years, 10 years, or longer, you've certainly seen it if longer. There are trendy ways of trading that come and go. They come in, everyone goes, wow, that's the thing. It's easy to learn. I can pick up on it in 20 minutes, in a 20-minute YouTube video. I've got a career laid out for me, big dog. And then they try it, and of course, they fucking blow every account that they have. And then 6 months later, they're back at square one, and then it fizzles out as people start to really have trouble trading that way. Because a lot of times it's really hand wavy. It's not really built on anything concrete like price action, which is literally the truth. Cut out the indicators, cut out all the bullshit, cut out all the I know what institutions do. Come on, dude. The price action is the truth. Go right to the source. You cannot get better. So we've got basically a tight little bull channel here with potential of this becoming more of a sideways range, right? We're seeing that now. We got bar 45 and 46, which we haven't really seen this kind of sequence at all. This entire bull move from bar 34, since bar 34, I should say. So paying attention to all that here. Got that wick low of 39. ATR 36. Okay, so now that we've got a bull channel and a potential sideways range, you're going to see the bears attempting to reverse this, which I would like to bet against if I can get a half reasonable entry here. There we go. And I'm going to use the wick low of 39. ATR sitting at 36, by the way, here. ATR is falling. Man, look at the range on these bars. These last 6 bars, quite a bit smaller, huh? You can see that, those orange vertical lines, bottom of the chart on screen. All right, there's 46 rolling over here into 47. ATR 33. $34 on the ATR. Boom, out there. Actually got a little better than a full ATR, so I am flat. Keep it pushing. Okay, we got bar 47 here, 3.5 minutes out. All right, these bulls taking us up through the wick high of 45. Trying to, at least. How you guys doing so far today, by the way? We having a half reasonable day? Hope so. This price action, you know, it's not the greatest, for sure. ATR 35. We spent almost the whole day inside of that big news bar pre-market. Okay, 90 seconds. We've got what would be the early trade. We've also got that high a day up there on the wick high of 25. So I'm watching all of this. Kind of need NQ to thread the needle here a bit, meaning don't grow too much. As far as range, this, you know, you can make an argument for about a 20-minute long range here. Making the argument that this is a range from 39 starts to be a hard, you know, that really is just a channel. But for sure, a little sideways range from 43 to 46. So first bar closing outside if it can. ATR 36 and what, about 30 points as of the current wick high to the high of day. Range here is about the same, about 30 points so far on this bar. Bar 47, 40 seconds out. That was not the time to wick that back, bulls. Alright, that's a 15-second setup. Only gonna give it 15 seconds. If the bulls want it, sure, I'll be a part of it. If they don't, I'll pull the order. You want it, bulls? It's there for you. No fill, no trade. Gotta pull it. Alright, keep it pushing. Bar 48. Big bar 48. 2.5 minutes out. ATR falling off an absolute fucking cliff down to 33, 34-ish on the ATR. It's all right. 33 is still fine. But if that keeps falling, you know I'm going to be upset about it. Wick high of 25, still the high of day here coming into it. We'll see. A lot of that's going to depend here how 48 closes up. 2 minutes. My ATR is set to 10, so it looks back at the average range. Or what I should say is it looks back at the range of the last 10 bars of whatever time frame you're on. This is a 5 minute, and it averages them together, spits out that number 34.29. All right, we got 48 rolling over to 49. Inside close there on 48. All right, give me 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere. All right. Okay, so I'm thinking we should load up a batch of some evals and take a little swing here. Because I am no longer having fun. I'm pissed! I didn't get into this to not have a good time, so I'm gonna load up a batch and see. And don't you love when the market just goes sideways? All right. Okay, let's see here. ATR 34. I'm just looking for any reason to get long right now. So let's see if they can give me a fill. There we go. And I am going to use the wick low of 39. There. We're slanging, man. We got Big Bar 50. There you go. That'll get you guys talking. Question, can you share your thoughts? Why you want to get into a long position? Because these are evals and we're putting on a show here, man. I gotta play to the dopamine. You know what I gotta do? And because we're in a bull channel. It's not just completely unhinged. Just 50%. Now, what would be really nice is if I could get a little Trump tweet going right now. And we get an insta push to 30K. That would be tremendous. By the way, these are the 250K evals over at Apex. Which, if you want, they are stupid. Go hit code BIG. And Apex in general, 90% off right now, a single day pass with code BIG. I think your best bet right now over at Apex is probably going to be, if you want to go bigger, the 150s. But you guys know, I always say, I think the 50Ks, honestly, for most traders are going to be the best opportunity. They're just, the 50Ks are much easier to pass in general, repeatably. And you're not, I get it. Like on paper, you feel like you're sacrificing a whole bunch of money. I don't know, dude. You can make the numbers plenty big with the 50Ks. I've had some big months with the 50K accounts. Like you don't have to be trading the 100Ks or the 150s or even the 250s to have a big month. I think you're probably going to get more frustrated because they are a lot tougher to pass. Question, how long does it take you to pass Apex evals? Well, these, I don't know. Depends how hard I push. A lot of days I won't hit them at all. But if I'm like working on a batch of 50Ks where it's like, I gotta replenish the fucking stable of fundeds one afternoon. One afternoon. If I'm exclusively working on evals, I will try to pass them in a single afternoon. Because you can at Apex. That's the beauty. Look, guys, if you are a positive ROI prop trader, which many of you are or are going to be, and you're spending a month trading evals, I think you're a little too scared. I think you're a little too frightened because I think that that's goofy. For example, like we talked yesterday about marketing in general, right? If you were running a campaign and spending $5 a day and making a stupid ROI, that would be the equivalent of not scaling that up to $5,000 a day, right? Now, is it going to get a little bit, is the ROI percentage, or I should say X factor, going to decrease as you scale? Of course. Of course. but you're making more money is the point. So I get it, but I will say I do think a lot of you guys, you're not pressing the pedal hard enough. There is no time, big dog. You got to push. So as you can see here, this trade was just a bet on that channel, a bet against the quote-unquote breakout of the range, right? Again, a soft bull channel like this, even though it's tight, is under the range umbrella. So I'm trading in a manner that fits range trading. And you guys know, of course, I certainly decrease the quality standard in evals compared to fundeds, or especially compared to a personal account. But I would trade, fundeds in a personal effectively the same way, or I do. But evals, B- is no longer my minimum, it's more like D. Because opportunity cost is a very real thing. Again, a lot of you guys, you gotta press the pedal, dude. You're going too slow. I gotta tell you, I don't think you're gonna look back in 40 years on this opportunity, whatever came of it, and say, damn, I really shouldn't have sent it so hard. That was not good. I would never say that to myself. Even if it fucking crashed and burned, I would never say that. I'd say, fucking A, I'm so glad I pressed it so hard. That was awesome. And what if it works? Or if it's already working, that's not even a thing. It's like, why aren't you scaling? The same way, why aren't these bulls taking me up about 400 points in 30 seconds? Oh man, are you kidding me? Come on, man. Hey, if you haven't yet, go ahead and hit the like button on the stream. I appreciate you doing so. And if you're not gonna, hit the go a little bit to the right, hit the dislike button, big dog. Please do so. I appreciate it. My man. So what are you guys trading today? You getting a personal account, fundeds, or evals? What are you guys all hitting today? It's been a long time since we've checked in to see what everyone's hitting, so I'm curious. In the chat, what's up? Javaz has got a mix going. Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it, man. All three, baby. Funded, personal, funded, evals. All right, there's the rollover 51 into 52. Volatility's down, man. We're down to 30 on the ATR. Alright, so we've got this bull channel. As we discussed, what was it? Back on bar 46? I think that was the trade I took, right? 46 up into 47. I think that's about right. Yeah, I think that was right. Flattening out, trying to turn into a sideways range. That ATR bouncing back a little bit here. 32! Up 2 points on the ATR. Tremendous. As long as it's going that way, we're happy. I want volatility up. Alright. Well, an ATR here is 32 points, almost 33 points. Bro split or push-pull legs? I've done both. Both. If you have an established base and, well, let me say it this way. if you are young and haven't trained much at all, I would say train push pull legs. Go in, train like a motherfucker for an hour. Leave, eat as much quality food as you can and sleep as much as you can. Then, over time, once the newbie gains fade out, transition to a bro split. Assuming you're trading for physique purposes. Not that that's the best way to train for overall health, but you'll probably find yourself transitioning to a bro split over time just to get deeper on specific muscle groups. But if you have an established base and you're coming back to training after a while, muscle memory is very real. So you can get back to where you were in like a month just by training and eating again. And I would do push-pull leg just to hit everything a little more frequently, and then you go back once it's like, okay, I'm kind of back to where I was at, which happens very quickly with muscle memory and quality food. Then you just go back to bro split. Or if you're like, why would I do any of that? I just want to train to be strong and fucking pick shit up. Then don't train either of those ways. Then train for function. But who the hell trains for function? Just kidding. So an ATR is still sitting at 30. Chat, I retired for 13 years, then came back as if I never stopped. Yeah. Yeah, look, if you're young, get into, at least put on, if you're a young guy and you're like, yeah, I'd like to have a little bit of muscle, whatever. Put it on young, I'm telling you. I mean, I'm not particularly old, okay, but I'm telling you, if you put it on when you're 17, 18, 19, 20, into your mid-20s, late 20s, and then I would anticipate early 30s, all the way through your fucking 60s, 70s, it's gonna be so much easier to just get it back, because now you've been there. And you can train for, I'm not even bullshitting you guys, if you could not train for 6 months, go back, start eating a lot of clean food, and train for, I'm not bullshitting, 2 weeks. And you're gonna look in the mirror and be like, fuck, it's already like kind of back. That's what muscle memory does for you. So if you're gonna put it on, I'd say put it on as young as you can, which if you're however old you are right now, if you haven't done so yet, but you want to, which if you don't want to, that's cool too, who gives a shit? Go put it on. It's gonna be a lot easier for the rest of your life. What's not easy right now is getting these balls to take us up deeper into the money. Come on, my man. What about if you're older? I'm 40? 40, man, come on. 40's nothing. You know, it's, I remember ever since, still to this day, ever since I started in the gym at 17, I was always a little jealous of the older guys. The guys in their 30s, 40s, because muscle maturity makes you look fucking grainy and shit. You can't get that. You can't fake it. Doesn't matter how hard you train, how well you eat. It doesn't matter. If you're in your early 20s, you know, it doesn't really start happening until your mid-20s. Honestly, like more like late 20s, it starts coming, but it's still not really there at all. If you're in your late teens, you're 20, you're in your early 20s, and you've been training and you're like, why don't I look like fucking Seth Feroce? Well, first of all, because you didn't take, you know, all the shit Seth Feroce has been wildly open about. That definitely helps for fucking 20 years, right? But I'll also say, because he's, how old is he? What is he, late 30s? maybe 40s, I forget. Early 40s, something like that. Here we go, 54. That grainy ass look comes from holding that amount of muscle for a long time. And if you're in your early 20s and you're like, why do I kind of look just fucking puffy and shit? I just kind of look soft. And it's not a body fat thing. I just don't look as hard as these guys on stage because they're fucking 42, dude. And they've been training for 25 years. The maturity. So if you're an older guy, hey, you have an advantage, dude. Because, you know, even if you haven't really been training, you got something under there that's going to look grainy and shit if you get a little leaner and start training more. Which is a good look. It's good. Well, the slow grind, and I'll tell you what, got basically a big sideways range here that is now developing after this bull channel, which again we talked about. I think I talked about it on 40. Yeah, it was bar 46 as 46 pulled in, took out that wick low 44. So watching 54. Well, ATR is 29. I'll round up. There we go. Let's see if I can get a fill. There we go. All right. Continue to watch here. Now, I'm pulling it there because, again, if we have 48, this is a sideways range. And now for me to get long again, I'm watching the wick high here. And if this turns into a range, it's just going to pull back, which it already is a sideways range. So I'm going to want this to prove itself back to the long side. If we can get away from this sideways range up through, which then we have to deal with the wick high of 25, you know, which is current high a day, which we're getting close to as well. So sitting flat, looking for something else to take. All right, we have an ATR of 28. It's ATR dipping into the 20s. Fuck, I hate it. I don't like it. Bar 55 pulling on in here, those bears. So good profit take. Good profit take right back into the trading range, that sideways little range. Man, if you haven't yet, hit like here on the live stream. I appreciate you doing so. Helps out a whole bunch. Let's see if I can get something else to put on here. So you see all this hesitation up here toward the now double-tested high of this sideways range? And you see how we're about, how far? Yeah, it's about 30 points ahead of the high of day, which is the wick high of 25. You get this a lot, where you get that high of day, and then you fade into it, and the bulls start to kind of lose faith a little bit as you get closer and closer. Now, shorting this with risk above 25 is not the dumbest thing in the world, as from a math perspective. Okay, but in this particular case, I think it's kind of a tall order just because it's been such a grind here since bar 34. From a math perspective, it actually would make mathematical sense given this hesitation if you were to hold it for a larger reward. That's very key because the probability here is reasonable, not great. Okay, so you got to make up for that with a high reward risk. If you were to short this and, risk 30 points, 35, 40 points, and then take it at 8 points in the money, that's not good math. Consider a yard going counter. Counter trend? Yeah, sure. You could call this a little bull trend. More like a channel. A lot of wicks, a lot of inside closes. Reminder here, guys, Take Profit Trader, daily payouts. You need money coming in ASAP. Code BIG, B-I-G, 40% off, no activation fee. If you use code BIG, it's sign up for each account over at Take Profit Trader. Apex, 90% off in single day pass. You go there when you need your 20 accounts, 10, 15, 20 accounts. Time to make the numbers look big. All right, guys. I'm heading out of here. I have my meeting here with my Tomb guys in less than an hour. So I gotta head out. You Tomb guys, I'll see you inside. The rest of you guys, I will see you tomorrow. Have a good one. Hang in there. Stay patient.